Hey guys, welcome to Lesson 6, Language Targeting. Now, language targeting is an often misunderstood and misused targeting option within Google Adwords. Now, the way language targeting works is you select a language that you want to serve ads to, then you create ads in that language and add keywords in that language because Google AdWords and Google in general does not translate your ads, and then you serve ads to users with those settings. So people in their browser or in their Google account that have that language selected as their default language. Now the possibilities and the opportunities for this is to serve ads to non-native speakers. So people in the US, for example, that speak Spanish, Chinese, or French, there is a huge population of people in the US that don't just speak English. And then also another opportunity for people in the hospitality industry is to serve ads to tourists visiting from other countries. So say if you're in a location like Miami or Orlando, LA, Las Vegas, New York, places where people come from other countries that might not have English as their default language, either even on their phone, when they're searching for something, say if you're a hotel or a restaurant and you want people to come to your establishment, you can serve them ads in their language. And then also that goes across the pond in Europe for English speakers. So say if you want American tourists and you're a hotel in Germany, you can serve ads in English to people coming or to people that have English as their default setting. Now there are opportunities even if a company only serves the US. So people in the US, there's a huge amount or huge population of people that don't speak English at home, almost 60 million people as of 2010. And with these different languages that are spoken at home, there's reduced competition in Google AdWords. Not a lot of people are going after these audiences, and they are relatively big. So Spanish speakers are 36 million, Chinese almost 3 million. So huge audiences, and it increases your potential customer base. So instead of just going after people that only speak English, you're adding another 60 million people to that group of people that you can serve ads to if you do serve ads in a different language. Now, one thing to understand about language targeting as well is that different Google domains have default languages. So Google China, Google France, Google Greece, and going through the list, they all have their default languages. So Google Mexico or Google Russia are going to be set in default to those languages. And that's something to understand because sometimes people don't go through and change their default settings if they don't need to. So Google Mexico, for instance, would be default to Spanish. The URL for something like Google UK, and you can go to this. I'll put the links in the side of this lesson, but Google UK is google.co.uk. Not everybody uses google.com. Sometimes people don't understand this, so I figured I would touch on it really quick. Now, best practices for using language targeting. Create a campaign for each language. Now, this can cause a ton of confusion and a really bad performing ad if you use multiple languages within an ad group. So what you're going to want to do once you create a different campaign is compare the results of each campaign. So maybe your Chinese coffee campaign or your coffee campaign that's in the Chinese language is performing 10 to 15% better than your English campaign. Then you can allocate more marketing funds or more advertising dollars in that campaign to get more bang for your buck or get a higher ROI for what you're doing on Google AdWords. And I touched on this earlier, but do not use Google Translate for ads. Google will not translate your ads or a keyword translation tool. If you do this, you're going to see very bad performing advertisements. There's some great tools to use for this. I'm going to put them in one of the lessons for links at the end of this course. But there are other options. If you use translation tools, there's going to be things that are lost in translation, things that don't translate as well. So just be aware of this. Now, a couple of those sources, like I mentioned on the previous slide, are Odesk and Elance. You can find people generally or fairly inexpensively to just go through, translate the ads that you already have created in their native tongue. So you can find people, if you want to serve ads in Mexico, you can find a contractor in Mexico to translate your ads. And they have an hourly rate. It's very easy. You can get it done within a couple of days. So Odesk and Elance are great tools for this.